you won't believe the shocking true story that's been unfolding in the shadows of the true crime community. It's a tale of obsession, deception, and murder, all centered around one thing: our insatiable appetite for crime media. From podcasts to documentaries and books to TV shows, we can't get enough of the thrill and horror that comes with exploring the darkest corners of human nature. But what happens when our fascination with crime media becomes an addiction and we start to lose ourselves in the process? As we delve into the world of crime media, it's clear that our fascination with true crime stories is not just about entertainment, but about understanding the human psyche. We're drawn to the complexities of the human mind and the factors that drive people to commit heinous crimes. But as we explore this world, we start to realize that the lines between reality and fantasy are often blurred. The stories we consume become a part of us, shaping our perceptions and influencing our thoughts. But here's where it gets dark. The more we consume crime media, the more we start to desensitize ourselves to the actual violence and trauma that's being depicted. We start to see the perpetrators as characters in a story, rather than real people who have committed horrific acts. And that's when the unthinkable happens. We start to develop a sense of empathy for the killers and a fascination with their motivations. We begin to ask ourselves, what drives someone to commit such a heinous crime? Is it nature or nurture? Is it a product of their environment or a result of their upbringing? Nobody expected this, but the true crime community has become a breeding ground for amateur detectives and armchair psychologists. People are now using their knowledge of crime media to try and solve real-life crimes, often with disastrous consequences. They're inserting themselves into investigations and providing their own theories and suspects to the police. And while their intentions may be good, their methods are often misguided and reckless. The lines between reality and fantasy are becoming increasingly blurred, and it's getting harder to distinguish between fact and fiction. As we continue down this rabbit hole, we start to realize that our obsession with crime media is not just about the stories themselves, but about the sense of community that comes with it. We're part of a larger group of people who share our interests and passions, and we feel a sense of belonging and connection. But this sense of community can also be a double-edged sword. It can lead us down a path of obsession and fixation, where we become so consumed by the stories that we lose sight of reality. But here's where it gets even more sinister. Some people are taking their fascination with crime media to the next level. They're attending true crime conventions, where they can meet and greet with their favorite podcasters and authors. They're joining online forums where they can discuss and debate the latest cases and theories. And they're even creating their own content, from blogs to YouTube channels, where they can share their own thoughts and opinions on the subject. It's a world that's both fascinating and terrifying, where the boundaries between reality and fantasy are constantly shifting. Nobody expected this, but the true crime community has become a multi-million-dollar industry. People are making a living off of their obsession with crime media, and they're cashing in on the public's fascination with true crime stories. They're writing books, producing podcasts, and creating documentaries, all with the goal of entertaining and educating the masses. But as the industry grows, so do the concerns about its impact on society. Are we glorifying violence and trauma, or are we using it as a way to process and understand the world around us? As we approach the end of this journey, we're left with more questions than answers. What is it about crime media that draws us in, and why do we find it so fascinating? Is it the thrill of the unknown, or the sense of satisfaction that comes with solving a puzzle? Or is it something deeper, a reflection of our own darker impulses and desires? The answer, much like the true crime stories themselves, remains a mystery, waiting to be uncovered. But here's where it gets jaw-dropping. As I was researching this story, I stumbled upon a shocking revelation. One of the most popular true crime podcasters, known for their in-depth analysis and meticulous research, had a dark secret. They were not who they claimed to be. In fact, they were a former convict who had spent years in prison for a heinous crime. And their podcast, which had millions of listeners, was not just a hobby, but a way to manipulate and control the narrative. They were using their platform to spread misinformation and half-truths, all in an effort to clear their own name and rewrite their own history. The implications are staggering. If one of the most popular true crime podcasters can be a former convict, using their platform to manipulate and deceive, what does that say about the true crime community as a whole? Are we just pawns in a much larger game, where the players are using us for their own twisted purposes? The truth, much like the true crime stories themselves, is complex and multifaceted, and it's up to us to uncover it. So, the next time you're listening to your favorite true crime podcast or reading a book about a famous serial killer, remember, the truth is often hiding in plain sight, and the most shocking stories are often the ones that are closest to home.